Hello and happy birthday, USA. I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is the 4th of July edition of the Anne Arundel County Week in Review. On today's show, we'll tell you why Glen Burnie is smelling a little better. We'll preview an event that lets you paddle and pedal, making headlines around the county. Oh, that smell, it's fragrant, it's coming from Glen Burnie, and it smells like new jobs. County Executive Leopold announced this week the grand opening of the Chesapeake Bay Candle Factory at Bay Meadows Industrial Park. The company opened its first factory in the U.S. and produces a massive array of scented, unscented, and just about every kind of candle you can imagine. The plant currently employs 25 people. The company's president projects that around 100 people will ultimately work at the plant. County Executive Leopold said of the opening, "America has taken a lot of hits when it comes to manufacturing jobs headed overseas. In this case, a company with many of its plants in China has chosen to come here to Anne Arundel County. We're proud to have them." So, if you're like Erik and you really need a lavender vanilla reed diffuser or an amber cedarwood candle, check out this locally based company. You can check out all of their products at www.chesapeakebaycandle.com.
Well, I have no idea what any of this is, but I'll be sure to check that out and get something nice for my wife, I guess. Well, some of us have felt like the Flintstones trying to get home using Route 100 and Hog Neck Road. Well, those days are over, folks. County Executive Leopold hosted a ribbon-cutting event this week to show off intersection improvements at the North County choke point. The project adds a left turn lane from Route 100 East to Hog Neck Road, as well as other improvements and signal changes. The project should alleviate congestion generated by the old single-lane alignment and also make the road safer by taking those cars out of the through lanes of the highway. County Executive Leopold said of the project, "This project is long overdue and I felt we could not wait any longer. The state was saying the work would take years, so the county moved forward on this project." Normally, any numbered streets or highways are the responsibility of the State Highway Administration, and the named streets are county roads that our own contractors maintain. But the state has little to no funding for these projects, so County Executive Leopold decided to use local impact fee money to get the job done. So I'll be getting home a little faster tonight, I guess.
This week, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,357 calls for service. This included more than 1,058 emergency medical calls and 102 fire calls. This week, we had 3 major accidents in 3 days up in North County. 2 vehicles struck 2 different buildings within a 24-hour period, sending more than 24 people to the hospital. With us now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. In the early morning hours of Sunday, June 26, 2011, Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported motor vehicle collision in the 7700 block of Baltimore Annapolis Boulevard in the Glen Burnie area of the county at about 3:17 a.m. The first unit to arrive on the scene reported a single vehicle accident involving a pickup truck into a house. Crews immediately assessed the structural stability of the structure and began to search for victims in the house as well as the pickup truck involved in the accident. The search revealed that there were no patients in the structure as this was a vacant house which was under construction. However, the driver of the pickup truck, a 26-year-old male, suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. He was transported to the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center located at the University of Maryland Medical Center in Baltimore via ground ambulance. In less than 24 hours later, a second call was received for a car that had crashed into a structure. In this case, county firefighters and paramedics responded to the area of Crane Highway and 6th Avenue in the Glen Burnie area just before 8:30 p.m. The first unit to arrive on the scene reported a single vehicle accident, a car into a structure. A search of the scene revealed that the driver of the vehicle had left the scene of the accident. However, police were able to locate the subject about a half a mile from the scene. The driver of the vehicle, a 32-year-old male, suffered minor injuries as a result of the crash. He was taken priority 3 to Baltimore Washington Medical Center in Glen Burnie via ground ambulance, where he was later treated and released. Then, in the early morning hours of Tuesday, June 28, 2011, county firefighters and paramedics were again called into action. This time they responded to a reported motor vehicle collision around 6:40 a.m. on I-97 South in the area of Route 100. The first units to arrive on the scene of this incident reported a 2-vehicle rollover accident involving a 15-person passenger van. Emergency crews immediately began triaging and treating the injured patients. In all, 14 people were injured as a result of the incident. The injuries in this case were classified as minor, and all of the patients were transported to Baltimore Washington Medical Center.
Thanks, Chief. The incidents involving the vehicles crashing into the two structures remain under investigation. Charges are pending in both cases. Maryland State Police are still investigating the cause of the two-car collision on Route 97.
Well, folks, there's more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what's happening around Anne Arundel County. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
County Executive John Leopold wants to remind all residents that an animal should never be left unattended in a vehicle during the hot summer months. Even on a mild day with the windows cracked, the temperature inside will rise quickly, causing imminent harm or death to pets. If an animal control officer sees an animal left unattended in a vehicle, a criminal citation will be written, and the owner of the vehicle must appear in court and face a potential fine of $500 and 30 days in jail. Don't put your animal in harm's way, even on a mild day. Don't leave any pets unattended in vehicles.
Welcome back. In late May of 2011, the Anne Arundel County Police Department's Southern District PACT unit, that's Police and Community Together, received a tip from a citizen that the resident at 115 Mount Zion Marlborough Road in Lothian, Maryland, was dealing controlled dangerous substances and accepting stolen property in exchange for the drugs. Joining us now is Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy with further details on this investigation. Justin.
Thanks, Erik. As a result, the Southern District PACT Unit and District Detective Unit worked jointly to investigate this complaint. On June 21st, detectives from Southern District, along with members of the Special Operations Unit, executed a search and seizure warrant. That was at 1155 Mount Zion Marlborough Road. The homeowner, 45-year-old Ronald Cornelius Hall, was located in a detached shed that was on the property. Hall was taken into custody with a small amount of crack cocaine in his possession and over $1,000 in U.S. currency. Additional charges are pending against Hall at this time. Now, aside from Hall, a second subject, 25-year-old Randy Spadero of 165 Boones Drive in Lothian, Maryland, was located and arrested for open warrant. Now, as the day progressed, detectives spent several hours searching the house and detached sheds on the property. The search revealed a significant amount of stolen property and suspected stolen property. In total, 180 items were recovered during the search warrant, to include a U-Haul car dolly, 49 long guns, several with serial numbers removed, along with snow blowers, generators, power washers, also weed eaters, leaf blowers, chainsaws, even including power drills, circular saws, concrete saws, nailing guns, fishing rods, and several other items. Again, this is 180 items. Several of the recovered items have already been linked to burglaries in the Edgewater area. Southern District has experienced an increase in thefts and burglaries involving the loss of similar items recently, which were recovered during this particular search warrant. Anne Arundel County Police detectives are also working closely with the Calvert County Sheriff's Office and the Prince George's County Police Department to help identify owners of property. Detectives are releasing photos of the recovered property and are asking citizens to contact Detective Mark Oddie of the Southern District at 410-222-1965 or via email if they believe that any of the received items were taken from them. Property owners need to be prepared to show some type of proof of ownership, such as serial numbers or pictures, if they plan to claim the property. Now, this particular case highlights the pivotal role that citizens in the community play as working closely with the police department to identify and reduce criminal activity. Detectives are continuing to seek information from citizens on possible suspects who are selling or trading the stolen property to haul. Now, as always, folks, if you have any information on any crimes or suspects mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to email, call, or text your tips to Metro Crime Stoppers Hotline. You can call 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. You can text message MCS plus your message to crimes at 274-637 or visit the website. That's www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Erik.
Thanks, Justin. Hopefully folks can remember some distinguishing characteristics of their lost property and can ultimately reclaim it.
Well, Erik, don't you hate it when people park in handicapped parking spaces and they don't have a disability? In an ongoing operation, the Commission on Disability Issues, in partnership with the County Police Department, has recently issued a handicapped parking guide to help people understand the proper use of these important spaces, which are provided for the safety of individuals with disabilities. Joining us now to tell us more about this important topic is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer of the Department of Aging and Disabilities. Mary?
I'm reporting from Annapolis today to acknowledge where the Commission on Disability Issues has put out a handicapped parking guide, and I've asked Pam Jordan, who is the ADA coordinator, to come and talk with us today about it. It's something that they put together considering that the police department is operating Operation Hide right now. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you, Mary. I'm glad to be here. This is a very exciting publication that the Commission has put out in cooperation with the police department, so we're real thrilled to talk about it. Yes, here we go.
There's the copy just for you.
It's a handicapped parking guide for people to learn more about the proper use of handicapped parking spaces.
I know that they put this out because there are several things that people do incorrectly. You want to tell us what some of those things are at the parking out in the lots?
We're going to start with, may I? Mm-hmm. We're going to start with a little bit of what's wrong with this picture. Here we are in a accessible or handicapped parking space, and this car is parked in the access aisle. Now, these access aisles are not for motorcycle parking or people that don't park very well, but they're there because people with disabilities need to park safely. So let me demonstrate why somebody parked in an access aisle is going to create a problem for another person with disabilities. If this vehicle had a ramp where the wheelchair came out of the side, that ramp would come out to just about here, which would allow the person in the wheelchair only about this much room to come down the ramp and would hit the car. They would literally be trapped in their vehicle, or upon return from their errand would not be able to get back into their vehicle. So these access aisles are very important for the safety of people. So thank you for that little demonstration, Mary.
I was going to say, what happens to people if they cannot get out of their vehicle, or if they come back to their vehicle and they need to get in and someone's parked real close to them?
Well, if that happens, they're stuck in their vehicle if they can't find a parking space, or they wait out in the elements until somebody comes and moves. So the Commission's identified a couple issues, and on that point, the other option is that people will go down to people with disabilities will park in another part of the parking lot where they have to take up 2 spaces. Then they're in the position of traveling through the travel lane behind parked cars that could pull out and hit them and get hit by a car. And so it's very dangerous. So these handicapped spaces all over the county, all over the country, are not placed by accident. They are placed as close to the accessible route as possible, which in this case is up here on our sidewalk at the government buildings.
So the Commission decided to put out this handicapped parking guide in order to help inform the public and make sure that this doesn't happen so much, right?
That's right. In a cooperative effort, the Commission is trying to educate the public, and they've identified 4 things that are going on out there. One, we have people that are illegally parked with absolutely no handicap plate or temporary placard. We also have people that are borrowing their family's car or a friend's car with the handicap plates or the placard. We have individuals that will park in the access aisle, such as you see here. And the 4th thing is when there are other choices for a van accessible space that has the access aisle, even if you are legitimately carrying your ID card and you have the handicap placard or the handicap plate, if there are other choices and you don't need to use this access aisle to get in and out of your vehicle, please make another safe choice and leave this space for somebody who really needs it.
Thank you, Pam. I really appreciate that. And tell us a little bit about the police, Operation Hide. What does that stand for exactly?
Operation Hide, very important because a lot of people don't realize this. Handicap ID enforcement. If you have a handicapped license plate or the temporary placard, you must be in that vehicle and you must have the identification card that came with that handicap plate or temporary placard. You cannot be the spouse, the child, the grandchild, and just borrow that car. These spaces are here for a reason, and it's for people with disabilities who like to shop, who want to shop, who need to get into government buildings. They have the same rights as everybody else. These spaces are here for the safety of individuals with disabilities. So we are very happy to partner with the police in educating the public about the importance of handicapped parking spaces.
And for that person who says it's only going to be a second, what's the fine?
For just a second, 60 seconds too long actually, it's $500. So maybe that.
I think that's plenty of fine to make one realize that you don't want to park there for just a second. Then you're going to run in and come running back out. No, $500 is a lot. So thank you very much for talking about the handicap guide. Where do people get one if they want one?
Yes, please pick up one of these handicap guides on parking, and you can call my office at 410-222-4383. If you're using a TTY system, please call through Maryland Relay. And you can get it online at www.aacounty.org/aging and disabilities.
I understand also you're going to have a Disability Awareness Day that's going to be on October 29th. I imagine you're going to have them at that event as well?
We'll have plenty of them at that event, and thanks for getting that in. Yes, we're in the middle of planning our annual Disability Awareness Day in partnership with Westfield Annapolis Mall.
Thank you, Pam Jordan, who's the County ADA Coordinator, for coming on the program today and demonstrating out in this parking lot. A little breezy wind and a little bit of noise, but we wanted to make the point. Don't park where you don't belong. And if you do belong there, we're delighted that we have these available for you. This is Mary Felter from the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities reporting for Anne Arundel Week in Review. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Mary. Now we know the rules, so no excuses.
Well, if you're looking for yet another fun activity at our county parks, we have an idea for you. In this week's Recreation and Parks Spotlight, our own Carolyn Ryan tells us about paddling and pedaling at Quiet Waters Park. Carolyn.
Thanks, Erik. Well, it's time for summer fun, and what better place than Quiet Waters Park? I'm here with Gary Whedon of Paddle or Pedal and Michael Murdoch, Superintendent of Quiet Waters Park. Gary, tell us a little bit about Paddle or Pedal.
Well, Paddle or Pedal offers all sorts of rental services here at Quiet Waters Park. We have everything from, as you can imagine, bicycles for the folks to try out all the various paths, and we have kayaks, canoes, pedal boats, all for the asking. And most recently, we've added the paddle boards, which are the latest and greatest core strength and conditioning activities. So we have those also available for people.
Great. Now, when is that available?
We are open every day that the park is open, so 6 days a week, excepting Tuesdays, and then from 10 to 5 p.m.
Great. And how can viewers get more information on Paddle or Pedal?
We would ask everyone to contact www.paddleorpedal.com.
Great. Well, Michael, how about some other things we can do here at the park this summer?
Well, you can enjoy this weather for one. I can tell you that. It's just beautiful out today. But we have our summer concert series coming up, which is a great thing for people to enjoy. It's free, and it's sponsored by the Friends of Quiet Waters Park. It begins July 9th. And we've just added our cafe to the park, too. I just thought I'd bring that up. So we have our Pit Boys is offering food at our cafe at the Quiet Waters Cafe, so that's an enjoyable thing. Of course, everybody knows we have wonderful playgrounds and places to picnic and places to walk in our beautiful woods, so it's a great place to be in the summer, particularly today.
Right. Well, you can get more information on Quiet Waters Park and all that it has to offer at www.aacounty.org/recparks. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. Those boats look like more fun than those machines at the gym, that's for sure. Well, Karla, got a little trivia for you today. You ready?
Okay.
The clue is he lives in Cape St. Clair, and he's won more than $100,000. You getting close?
Who is Dr. J. Reed?
That's right. You are correct. You win another chance to host the show next week. How about that? It's a great prize, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, folks, Dr. Ree won Jeopardy 5 times in a row. His streak came to an end this week, but not until he took home a lot of money. He told the Maryland Gazette that winning this much money is beyond anything that he could ever imagine. No word yet on what the Annapolis oncologist will do with the money. I'm always available for a small fee to help him plan out how he wants to use his money.
Half of the winnings, maybe?
No, I don't even need half. 40%? No, just kidding. No, I think that's great. I mean, that's always good to see somebody local go on Jeopardy. Oh, you know, I remember the guy.
And do really well.
And do very well. Who was real smart? Ken Jennings, that guy. I mean, he was on there for like 30 episodes and won. I mean, that's just amazing. You see this question pop up, and, you know, I'll play the game sometimes with my wife, and even the kids get involved in it. But I can get maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6.
Well, it depends. I feel
maybe
like
10,
you know, everyone has their favorite categories that they do really well in. But to be a champion like this, you have to know.
You got to be good.
Everything.
You got to know it all.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of champions,
Mm-hmm.
I got to, you know, I was looking this week. Councilman Grasso, who we had on the show here about a month ago, has, you know, he's the guy that they call with a million ideas.
Right.
Well, he's got a new idea out there.
I heard
and he
about
has
this.
actually put aerators or fountains or bubblers, whatever you want to call it, outside of his own property in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes like a waterfall out there. And he's actually buying 3 or 4 other ones to put at other locations to try to clean up the creeks.
Yeah, his idea is to try and put them in some natural waterways to help oxygenate the water so that you don't have that algae buildup and that stagnation.
Absolutely. I can tell you in Rock Creek, there's been a bubbler that the county installed 10, 15 years ago that I know when that bubbler, as the residents call it, or aerator, is not on, we get calls. I mean, as soon as it's supposed to be on, whatever the date is, April 1st, if it's April 2nd, that aerator's not on, the people call. They notice it. But as a former DNR employee, what's your take on this?
You know, it's funny you say that. The little pool in back of TAWS, the building that the Department of Natural Resources is housed in, and that's next to the courthouse, actually has one of those as well. And the water does get pretty stagnant when it's not running. So I think it's an interesting solution. I don't think it's a permanent solution, but I think it's an interesting idea.
Well, somebody's doing something.
Yes,
we hear a lot of people
true.
giving lip service to protecting our environment, cleaning up our bay. So we're glad to see that unelected officials move forward.
And you should keep those interesting ideas coming.
That's right. That's right. Kind of makes it look like when you're watching those fountains out there, it's like fireworks. And there's some great fireworks, like that segue, around the county.
How you were going to transition.
You know, we always got to come up with something. But we've got 2 big ones that I'm aware of. Glen Burnie, Sawmill Creek Park. That will be Sunday evening, right around dark, 9:15. And then, of course, Annapolis.
And Fort Meade always has a lot of activities going on.
Fort Meade,
for the
Gibson Island Country Club. You can actually, I mean, this is a good place. I mean, you got Baltimore, you've got Washington, you've got Annapolis.
Oh, yeah, we're surrounded.
We're surrounded. You got a lot of places to see fireworks. So if you want to go out and see some great fireworks and celebrate my favorite birthday, America's birthday, then get out there. Do it. Have fun. Have a good and safe 4th of July. Make sure you're safe out there. That's the important thing.
Any good plans for the 4th?
No, we'll see the fireworks probably in Annapolis and enjoy the pool and have fun with the kids.
Yeah, that's my family's plan as well.
Yep.
Just some, you know, spending time with family. Oh, and a double wedding.
That's right. This is something new to me, a double wedding. Wow.
Not mine. My friend and her sister are sharing a double wedding, but for the most part, just hanging out with family, grilling, spending time by the pool, and watching some fireworks.
That's what Americans do on Americans' birthday. So, it's all good.
It is.
Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and on YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Please have a safe 4th of July weekend and tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.